Okay. Uh, Thank you very much, everybody, for taking your time out and attending the conference. We really value your presence and knowledge that you're coming up with on Agile and would like to welcome you in this event.
We know that this platform has been helping to promote the culture of agility and bringing people with a common interest together and helping companies to understand the practices and ideas of various professionals. We would also like to take this opportunity to share with you uh, our journey as well as how Contour has utilized the principles of Agile and lessons learned over the years.
Hi, this is Akil Ashraf. I'm working as a Director of Software Development Services at Contour. I have a track record and experience of recruiting, leading, coaching, and mentoring software developers, architects, team leads, managers, and other senior or junior team members of the R&D divisions or CSI departments that we have at Contour.
Hi, this is Kashif Raza Siddiqui, and I'm working as Manager Software Development Services at Contour. I have a 15 years experience of software development, process improvement, leading and building teams. All right, so to better understand more about the usage of agility from the top horizon, we need to first of all understand how we operate. In fact, how the Contour operates. Um, we are part of a Constellation Software global conglomerate, which is a leading provider of software and services to a group of public and private sector markets. As you can see on the slide, that as part of Constellation, we serve various domains and markets. And there are 80 plus domains that we serve. These are categorized under various operating groups of Constellation, such as you can see on the slide, uh, Perseus, Volaris, Vela, Jonas, Total Specific Solution. And some of the domains include education, transportation, healthcare, leisure and fitness, home builder, construction industry, utilities, real estate, and many more, as you can see on the slide. So after Constellation, let's talk a bit about Contour. Basically, Contour started its journey with 13 employees in 2010 from Karachi. And later on, we expanded to Lahore in 2014 and then in Islamabad in 2018. We are serving 150 plus CISI departments that are spread across the globe. And now, if I specifically talk about Contour and its current strength, we are 1,000 plus employees company in just 10 years. And specifically, if we talk about the last 2 years of Contour, we added 500 plus employees. And we were recognized to have achieved the fastest growth in the software market in 2019 by Pasha. So our core area is of course software development, and main workforce belongs to R&D, software development, and QS. However, we do offer multiple other services outside of our core area as well. Um, and we do offer jobs in other areas as well, like IT, finance, customer support, and professional services. If we talk particularly about our core service areas, which is, as I mentioned, it's software development and QA. We have employees and new openings within wide area of technologies, covering .NET, Java, Angular, React, Python, Go language, PHP, data science, data engineering, and so many others, where we fulfill the need to not only modernize the legacy systems to modern cutting edge technologies, but we also do new development as well. And with that, we also have teams and openings for support and development. So this was a brief introduction of Constellation and Contour and how we operate. Now I would request Mr. Akil Ashraf, Director of Software Development Services, to walk you through the details of agile practices that are being followed at Contour.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kashif. And by the way, thanks for sharing how we operate at Contour. And this goes back to our initial days, as initially it was a brainstorming phase for Contour to build various kinds of teams, given the variety of markets across the globe that we needed to serve and we need to serve today as well. And given the scale that we operate now at and wanted to operate at that point in time as well, there were, of course, cultural and time zone differences with the distributed team structures. So, if we think about all these things and try to address all these points with one thing or one point, we realized that there was no one silver bullet for everything. But to address many needs in 2010, Contour started building Scrum teams, Kanban teams, and with with the passage of time, when we excelled in this area, we started having this Scrumban team as well. I'm sure many of you know about this Scrumban. Uh, that is a mix of Kanban, Scrum, etc. But this was all done to help our onshore businesses to get the effectiveness of building teams at Contour. And not just that, but to also benefit our employees to get the clear idea of the business domains and markets that these teams or employees are going to serve or will be serving in the future. And this could not have been possible if our employees don't get the participation or don't get to participate in the daily scrum calls or planning, whether you talk about release or sprint planning, etc., or backlog grooming or backlog refinement exercises or other ceremonies of scrum or known practices within agile. If they had not participated, if they don't participate in these things, we would not have place all these agile frameworks into practice. So first of all, we needed all we first of all we needed to put all of this in practice by providing all the necessary ingredients required to put all of this in practice. And of course, by doing that, we are not just serving the business effectively, but also promoting the common values and culture, as we know that our team here this side of the world also speaks the same language, also aware of the same practices that the world is aware of, uh, that the world knows best in terms of modern software development practices. Now let's talk about all the ingredients briefly. I might not be able to go into details of everything with the limitations of time, of course, uh, but we'll try to provide you some of the glimpses of practices in place, one by one, that made us successful over the years. Okay. So as I mentioned, that contours practicing various agile frameworks, but the heart of that is to build self-organizing teams. It is easier to say that to place the or to start practicing agile or scrum or what or kanban, etc. But it is equally important to understand and focus the importance of self-organizing teams, the teams that are fully committed, the teams that are fully engaged, have the clarity, know what they are doing, and align with the business goals and work with minimum guidance. um, this also helps employee also grow their skills and career by self correction, by self improvement on individuals, as well as if they are focused within the team, so on the team basis as well. And all, and to be able to do that, we needed to place the right leadership for the existing scene, for the existing teams, and search for the appropriate leadership for the new teams to provide them the all these administrative support or various kinds of technical support that the teams needs time to time. And to do that, we have placed various functional and non-functional leaders, including development managers, solution architects, technical team leads, software architects, and team leads, etc., to deal with the long-term technical business goals of the product development, as well as to keep the team motivated, engaged, and satisfied with the long-term goals and targets, and understand the long-term goals and targets. So there are technical teams and technical experts or software developers or QAs in particular can focus more on quality deliveries more, or focus on the career path for themselves, instead of being struck with these with such problematic administrative issues. So placing leaders, the right leaders, were also one of the things that we considered, and we have been successful in doing that so far. And it is not an easy game, of course, and to put together all this in practice, the agile mechanism, the Kanban, the Scrumban teams, and finding out the right leaders for the right teams, we it was not easier thing. Obviously, it has taken time in doing that, and to put together all this into practice, we recommend our departments and divisions to also don't just focus on the bookish practices of agile or scrum, or all these frameworks that are available, but also focus on other areas as well. For example, keeping the team size reasonable. By reasonable, I mean not too big, if not too short. Not too big. Why? Because individuality of the team members, is somehow lost in the head count of the team. So you'll find here, if there are bigger teams, and there are sub teams also available within that, so that you have the team concept and not too big, uh, which is so every individual definitely in the team is important and should be heard. And this was the concept that we always prefer to implement in every team. And with that, uh, we promote the culture of sharing knowledge also between teams, so that one team can get the advantage of the other team's knowledge. If one team has resolved a particular problem and the other team is also trying to resolve the same problem, then yes, the other team can get the benefit of the knowledge shared between the teams, and it becomes easier for the other team to just adopt the solution and learn it from the other teams. So with all that, placing the right tool was also important. Um, if you go back to the previous slide, yeah, placing the right tool was also important for us to, uh, because to help the team become more effective and efficient in the distributed team structure or environment. For example, if a product owner is outside, and if somebody who knows the business more is outside of the country and working and creating the backlog for you or for the team, Uh, but the team also should be viewing that particular backlog, which is should be also accessible to all the teams. So placing the right tool was also important to have to allow the team members to do the planning exercises here in the distributed team structure and environment, and backlog grooming exercises here. And this is just one example, but definitely these tools also helped all the team members work with the onshore team in all the aspects, with all the artifacts that they should be aware of. These are available through these tools, and to be able to review and pick up those tasks which are created by the other person on onshore, uh, to pick those tasks into sprints and starts doing that, and provide continuous integrated solution with that. And there are various examples of these tools I'm sure you're already aware of, which is Jira, Microsoft Teams, Azure DevOps, automating builds, etc., and all that. Okay, so as we talked about placing the right leadership, it was also equally important to not just look for the leadership from outside, but also, if somebody is motivated, if somebody is good within the team, to promote the leaders from within the teams as well. Consider, and we also prefer considering, promoting the leaders from within the team. So we have teams that are practicing rotational scrum master responsibilities as well. For example, one team member uh, can become uh, a scrum master for a few sprints or iterations, and will start leading scrum calls or planning meeting or backlog refinement meetings, or the other ceremonies of scrum or agile meetings, etc., and ensure that the scrum teams, for instance, following and remaining intact with the agile or scrum principles. And obviously, there comes then after a few sprint the shift of responsibility to the other team member. Now, this concept in a few teams has allows the teams to remain motivated, to remain intact with the agile principles. And this practice, where there is a provision, obviously this is practice, and many team members gets the chance to lead and excel in the areas. If this will also allow them. This also allows them to, if to grow in the and to grow the skills of the particular skill set, if they want to be promoted in the future. So this does not only help the business alone, but also help employee grow. uh, okay, next slide. Things that I just explained were more to do with placing the framework, right tools, leadership within the team or outside the team. However, all this alone could not have been fruitful if we don't instill the practice of self-correction, or still within the teams to always strive for more and strive for betterment. But to do that, it is easier saying that. It is easier to say that to instill this within a team, but somehow we needed to promote the culture of retrospective within the teams, and suggest to inspect and adjust time to time in the face of challenges that any team can face, and ask the team to not just build the software, but to build, stop, review, self correct, and continue. And it was very, very important to stop, review, self correct, and continue. Of course, this is an ongoing process, and many teams have started adopting this as a practice. This retrospective culture is now helping teams to have open communication about the problems, share ideas with each other, identify the root causes through uh, analysis instead of being engaged in blame games, etc., and enable the sort of environment that we wanted to enable, like to foster ideas and solutions to problems or challenges. Next, yeah. So we could not have been success we could not be successful by just building the teams, practicing agile frameworks, and placing the right tools and self correction or etc etc. But with that, there is always a need to provide continuous and frequent feedback to every team member. Why? Because obviously the team member also need to understand and know if he or she is on track to self correct. Obviously, this goes back to the idea of self correction, self organizing team, etc etc, to self correct or to help them align with the goals, whether these are high level business goals or whether these are scrum goals. So yeah, to put the culture of providing the frequent feedbacks, we have frequent feedback meetings with individuals and or teams to listen to their questions or ideas for their administrative management team, that is us, and to openly communicate any concerns that any individual might have. And on top, there is a process of monthly reviews as well, to be done by their managers every month, and to provide the feedbacks to individuals separately. And then of course there is a culture of frequent recognitions and awards, etc. So yeah, that was about whatever I have mentioned. That was all about agile and the frameworks that we have or the tools that we have in practice here. But yeah, we have also participated in the some of the development community, like PWIC, Code Girls, STEM Generations, and other NGOs. So this one slide was to show you our efforts or our commitments to share our knowledge, or to participate in all these communities. So through though with all this that I have mentioned, there are many other practices also that are in place at Contour, but that subject will take a lot more time. Uh, but within this limited time, we could have only discussed a few things, and we have tried to provide the glimpse of what and how we do. And with that, we believe in sharing our knowledge furthermore in the upcoming sessions and conferences with the community, and learn from the community as well. Thanks so much.